Karen. Probably most of you know this name, actually this term, don't you? I assume you do. So in English-speaking culture, as I know, Karen is a pejorative form for a woman who is acting aggressively. She doesn't ask, she demands. And she knows everything better than you. She loves to fight, especially at stores, and what's typical for her is the line, "I'd like to speak to your manager." Please. Of course, it's just a meme, a symbolic picture of unpleasant behavior. I believe there are lovely, easygoing and nice Karens, and their nature is far from this image. But do we have anything like this in Polish? I mean, an equivalent of this meme in our language. Do Polish Karens act the same way? I'll tell you about a few examples and I will try to explain differences between them. So I think we should start with Karina. It sounds pretty much the same, Karen and Karina. But you have to know that Karina is not a real name. I believe it's a distorted form of the name Karina. Karina and Karina, it's not the same. And this form, Karina, actually Karina sounds so rough. Karina, przynieś no mnie tego browara. Is Karina the same as Karen? I'd say no. So first, Karina symbolizes a young girl, mannerless, acting in an aggressive way, sometimes, not always, dressed in a flashy outfit, with heavy makeup. She can't speak and write proper Polish. I mean, she really can't speak, and it's not about some tiny mistakes. When she writes a post on Facebook, just forget about any syntax or grammatical rules. If there is any way to screw something up, she'll do it. And sometimes it's not easy to distinguish Karina from Jessica. I'd say Jessica is even younger, but in many situations I could use Jessica and Karina interchangeably. But when it comes to older ladies, we can't forget about Grażyna. In Polish, it's a label evoking pejorative features, usually some typical behaviors. Grażyna is a woman in her 40s or 50s, something around this, not very attractive, with unfashionable hairstyle, and usually she's poor. And I think it's the biggest difference between Grażyna and Karen, because in my opinion, English-speaking Karen, she is, maybe I'm wrong, tell me if I'm wrong, but I think she's wealthy. I think she's rich or somewhere higher in the middle class. So Karen seems to be a typical smartass pat, like, I know my rights, while Grażyna seems to be clever. At home, clever and loud. I'm the queen of this house. But she's lost for words in public. As we say, she forgets her tongue. She loves shopping, gossiping, and complaining about everything. Of course, she's more focused on other people than on herself. But she notices negative features only. A rich sąsiad? I think this guy steals, and of course we couldn't forget about her husband, Janusz. But Janusz, I think it's a great material for another video. If you don't know this name, if you don't know this symbol, you can't call yourself a fan of the Polish culture. But of course, if you like, I can prepare a full episode about Janusz. There would be even more things to do, because they probably have a son, and his name is Seba. And their daughter is, as we mentioned, Karina or Jessica. And a short disclaimer here. Yeah, I know, I should have put this at the beginning. But what I want to tell you, don't be upset. And don't be angry with me if you have any of these names. I'm just a humble presenter of our culture, of our cultural issues. And come on, these are just memes. I can be Janusz and you can be Grażyna, no matter what your real name is. And I believe that sometimes we are Karens, Grażynas. Maybe sometimes you act like a Janusz. Yeah, it is how it is. So now your turn. Tell me, how does it work in your country, in your culture? Do you have any equivalents of mentioned names? A na koniec taka rada. Pamiętaj, żeby nienawidzieć sąsiada. Ale nie bądź Janusz, nie bądź Grażyna. Zostaw lajka i już mnie nie ma.